There's a lot to go over, and honestly, everything in this video is complete speculation, but I tied some pieces together, so I hope you enjoy. Today we're starting at Colonel Nell's SALT conference.
Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity.
What you're saying is extremely consequential and very important, and I know that a lot of people here even perhaps may not believe that statement.
Probably a better way to ask that is, how can the folks in the audience come to the common understanding of what this phenomenon is? So we can look at some folks that have very high level access to information, like Paul Hellyer, who is the defense chief for Canada, has come out and said the same thing.
But just as children survive the idea of the tooth fairy and Santa Claus when they become adult, I think that tax-paying citizens are quite capable of accepting the new and broader reality that we live in a cosmos teeming with life.
We can look at Ham Eshed.
After 30 years at the helm of the Israeli space security program, and after receiving 3 Israeli security awards, retired Israeli general and respected professor Chaim Eshed is now unveiling that yes, there are aliens among us, yes, Israel has made contact with them, and no, humanity is not ready for them.
Chris Mellon.
Would I call you a believer in UFOs?
Yes, I do undoubtedly believe that we see things that are unidentified.
Lou Elizondo has said the same thing.
These aircraft, we'll call them aircraft, are displaying characteristics that are not currently within the U.S. inventory nor in any foreign inventory.
David Grush has said the same thing. David Grush cleared for presidentially level material.
I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis.
I learned that anomalies exist. UAP'S, UFOs, things fly around in our sky that's not related back to our government or, as far as we know, any other government. So, where does that lead us to, and why the cover-up? Well, Colonel Nell was talking recently at a SOL conference. Now, this took place before the SALT conference, and he had a lot to say about why even our senators and congressmen and women had no idea as to what was happening. Listen up.
Right, so they've researched this and they've declared that some UAP records are exempt from mandatory declassification review, and they're stating that that's due to the Atomic Energy Act of 1954.
The fact is that Congress should have oversight and the ability to look into and have access to these programs, and the fact is that we're being told that we don't have access to these programs, which defeats the purpose of what we're supposed to be doing.
3 United States congressmen were denied by our military. We're supposed to be telling them what to do, not the other way around.
And they're stating that that's due to the Atomic Energy Act of 1954.
The development, use, and control of atomic energy shall be directed so as to make the maximum contribution to the general welfare, subject at all times to the paramount objective of making the maximum contribution to the common defense and security. And the development, use, and control of atomic energy shall be directed so as to promote world peace, improve the general welfare, increase the standard of living, and strengthen free competition in private enterprise.
So you can imagine, some of the sort of historical background that might have precipitated that. Manhattan Project, post-World War II, sightings going on at that time, and using that same security apparatus for this topic.
Excuse me, what? What? Can we just gather for 2 seconds and just decode what he just said? We've just learned that the United States government, somewhere along the line, lost control of information because there was something that happened that was so sensitive that our government didn't have access to the paperwork, that we thought it would be better to classify thus paperwork, ladies and gentlemen, instead of allow Congress this information, allow our president this information, because it might slip. Think about it. Let's keep rolling.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
So here we have David Grush coming out and saying that he knows of a UAP crash retrieval program, which, by the way, the government, Pentagon, denies even exists. But my thought process is the fact that Lockheed Martin came out and said this. Pay close attention.
We'll be able to grow or make a structure that, say, is the skin of an aircraft, that inside of that is also contained the sensors or the energy storage or many different multiple functions.
New materials that are on the lab bench right now, they can literally change shape on command. They can become almost a muscular material.
Did they actually go out and recover Roswell's craft, even though they stated it was a balloon across the entire nation in the papers? And then Lockheed Martin comes out and says that information, it just sounds to me like they actually do have a reverse engineering program that the Pentagon is denying and covering up because they're not giving anybody the paperwork as Tim Purchett asked. But for that information, we definitely will be finding that information out, hopefully by October, as they are required to give our Congress all of the information that they have. But that's why they were saying that they don't have any information. It's a fun game that they're playing. We'll just see how that unravels. But why would they need UAP technology? Is it to get a leg up on the other countries so we have control? Maybe.
There's no question the U.S. government took this whole idea of advanced technology very seriously and started back engineering and spending a lot of money on it soon after the crashes at Roswell in 1947.
You know, since 1947, they've told us these things don't exist, yet Harry Reid funded, very well funded, millions of dollars towards research of it.
Security rating was higher than for the H-bomb. They have a very interesting way of keeping things quiet, and that is everything is on a need to know. So you could be working in a lab, or you could be making some kind of piece of machinery, and you wouldn't know what it was for. And then the guy that gets it, he would only know what it fits into.
The federal government learned how to do this during the Second World War. You got to imagine Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Manhattan Project, thousands of people working on an atomic bomb, and less than 12 actually knew what it was.
After the first atomic bomb was set off in New Mexico in 1945, level of activity took on a new dimension.
Which technologies are you certain that have been shared with us from extraterrestrials?
Fiber optics, microchips, Kevlar, and improved lasers, and a whole range of things where their technology was much improved or advanced from ours, light years ahead, really, I think.
Y'all know the AI was created right around 1950? No, neither did I. The things you learn. But that being said, listen to what I heard from Askapole.
Participation between the organizations that currently have to cooperate in this, but we tried to bring a number of different entities in for a discussion so that it wasn't a surprise to anybody.
I think it might be the term non-human intelligence. I think that might be used like 22 times.
Well, what is it? Pretty simple terms, aren't they?
But could that be AI?
Could be.
Non-human?
Could be.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's that broad.
Well, could be. It was not by accident. Let's put it that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Sit around. I wanted to ask you. You're good.
I wish I could say more, but that's just. I mean, we tried to keep it as simple as possible.
Talking to you Intel guys.
And after that was released, right around the same time that ChatGPT-4 got announced, we also got notice that we needed to put a 6-month hold on ChatGPT and all creation of AI.
Artificial intelligence raises the risk of the extinction of humankind. That is the warning from a group of scientists and tech industry leaders, including high-level executives at Microsoft and Google.
Now, I understand this can be a little bit sketchy, but I'm not trying to scare anyone. Remember, this is speculation, and this is just pieces of the puzzle that I found that I feel connect at the moment. It very well could change, but it just seems as if that was a narrative that's been being pushed. Even in Hollywood, for instance, think of life in terms of like a Darwin effect, right? And we think about how Darwin thought of evolution and life like that. So, there was, germs, and the germs eventually evolved to grass, and that evolved into species, and then we were having monkeys, and then monkeys evolved into humans, and so on, okay? If that's the theory, humankind seems to be pushing towards evolving into possibly technology, which also tight fits with the rest of this story. Listen to what Colonel Nell had to say, and then we'll wrap up.
This reality really forces a Darwinian type competition in order to survive. And so it's reasonable to assume any other civilization that's evolved has come up through the same Darwinian evolutionary process. So I think it's naive to expect complete altruism until and unless you get to a state of post-scarcity, where you essentially have no physical needs that we're kind of encumbered with in this universe.
So, all that being said, the theory of evolution isn't all that far off, as we've already started implementing technology into people with the Neuralink, and maybe humankind is just a small stepping stone into the future of what we need to be in evolution in order to survive. We're going to eventually run out of resources on this planet. Water, food, oxygen are just a few to name some, and it could very well be a stepping stone towards the future as we implement technology into our day-to-day lives and eventually into us. What do you guys think of this? This is a wild, crazy theory, but it definitely is a fun one to go down. Let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you guys dig this content. Thank you so much for hanging around till the end of the video. Also, just throwing it out there, I am safe. I'm not planning on de-living myself or anything like that. I'm not prone to accidents. I have a pretty basic desk job. So all that to be said, I know whistleblowers have been under the gun lately when it comes to, being threatened, such as like Luis Elizondo and stuff. So I don't want to put myself there, but I'm just saying, if I did stumble onto something that might actually be real, y'all know what's going down. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate all of you, and hopefully have a good day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. I put some time, work, and effort into these videos for you, so hopefully you enjoy. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.